Hey everybody, welcome to Walks with Moss. Today we're going to check out something I just spotted on the satellite. And then after that, the plan was to turn around and go up that road and do some exploring there, but I'm not sure. I might actually get back in the car and go fishing after I'm done exploring up there. I'll decide later. It's December 23rd. There's some road construction going on down near where I parked. We should be out of that noise soon. And because it's December 23rd, I think we should try to find some mushrooms to go with our Christmas dinner. I bought a big, fat, juicy steak for Christmas dinner. I haven't had a steak in a couple of years, so I'm really looking forward to that. But it would be nice to find some fresh mushrooms to put on my steak, and I'd like to have some mashed potatoes and gravy too, so I should find some mushrooms to put in my gravy as well. So let's see what we can find out here. I wouldn't necessarily feel too optimistic about finding mushrooms on December 23rd, but we have had such a warm year. I'm still finding chanterelles in my yard. This winter's been really warm so far. We've only had, I think, one frost, and I didn't see that it frosted, but it got below freezing. Here we go. Already. There's some clavulina, so just a little bit, we won't pick that. And I thought that was a Stropharia ambigua, but it's not. Okay, anyway, that's a good sign. I think we're going to find some nice edible mushrooms here on December 23rd. Hey Bella, what do you think? You ready for a hike? You ready? She is more than ready. It's been a few days. We're crossing through land here owned by two different logging companies, one of which I feel does a nicer job than the other as far as how often they log. This is Port Blakely here. I feel like Port Blakely does a better job, but I don't know. Could just be my imagination. There's some big old growth stumps in here. That looks like a cedar there. There were definitely some big trees here once upon a time. Would have been so nice to see this area before. Yeah, there's a cedar stump there, and then someone came along after, and you can see a cut bit there, salvaged some of the wood from the stump. I actually have some ancestors who had a shake mill, and that's what they would do, I think, is find these old cedar stumps. I think that one might be a Douglas fir there, but there's a cedar stump there. They'd find these old cedar stumps and harvest what was left and make shingles out of it. There's a trail here, and it looks like way more than just a deer trail. Maybe a motorcycle trail. Something to explore someday, I think. Here we go. Here's some clavulina. It's been a little bit periodized, but it also looks like there's some bits of it that's good. I'm just going to call it all Corallides because I don't know how to tell the difference. And I think that might be the most common one. Yay! And I've heard that it contains compounds that help keep your arteries from clogging. So that seems like a really good mushroom to put on my big fat juicy steak on Christmas Day. So I might just grab that on the way back. Here's some chanterelles that are way too far gone. Here we go. Old Sol Simpson had a farm. E-I-E-I-O. And on his farm he had a feller buncher. E-I-E-I-O. With a clear cut here and a clear cut there. Here a clear cut, there a clear cut, everywhere a clear cut. Old Sol Simpson, aka Green Diamond, had a farm. E-I-E-I-O. And the tree farm is not a forest. So we've made it. Port Blakely there. Sol Simpson, aka Green Diamond, here. What a lovely legacy. Ooh, witch's butter. Awesome. We could harvest some of that today too. I think I'll wait till the way down though. Look at that old growth stump down there. And then you can still see a bit of the tree there and there. So I guess Simpson didn't want those trees for whatever reason, but they didn't want to let them live either, because their fantasy was for everything to be replaced with a monoculture of little tiny Douglas fir. So they just cut them down and left them to lay there. Isn't that lovely? Okay, I'll stop now. I'll try to make this a positive, happy video. It's kind of hard though when you walk through all this destruction and then you have to pay $100 a year just for the privilege to walk through all this destruction on land that I strongly suspect was stolen in the first place. Well, I know it was stolen because it belonged to the indigenous people, but I think it was stolen again after that too. So maybe it doesn't matter because they stole stolen land. That's something to think about. Dude, what do you think? You think you're having fun. You're not worried about any of that stuff. You're just having a good time, aren't you, buddy? Yeah, you're having a good time. Okay, let's go. I think at some point, some of the massive lava flows that came out of eastern Washington back in the day made it all the way down to this area and came out kind of down the Chehalis River basin. Part of why I say that is I've seen maps, but also look what we have here. I'll get a little bit closer so you can see it better. Right here we have columnar basalt. But you know what? Some of it's perpendicular, some of it's straight up and down, and then there's a perpendicular layer laying right on top of that straight up and down layer. So it could be a bit of Siletzia that was above the water when it was erupting and then crashed into the continental plate. And we've got pillow basalt here too. I think that's what these are, pillows that have been broken out. But definitely columnar basalt up there, but it's very deformed. So I don't know, you know, if it came here and flowed or if it got moved or what, because it's like, was that one lava flow that got bent over perpendicular, or was that a second lava flow on top of it that got bent over perpendicular? See, the columnar basalt is the stuff, you can see the lines in it. And even the stuff that's straight up and down is a little bit deformed. And you can see pillow basalt underneath that. So maybe this is a bit of Siletzia that was above ground and not something from the giant lava flows in eastern Washington. Maybe when Siletzia crashed, it had some above ground lava eruptions and those got pushed into the continental crust as well. Interesting though, it's just so rare to see columnar basalt in western Washington. It's kind of a treat. I don't know if we're quite close enough to where lava would have come down the Chehalis River basin. Who knows, things will have moved around a lot. And they're still moving. I see those orange wires there in your Bella. I think those have to do with detonating dynamite to blow this gravel pit apart. Let's see, what's this sign here? Does it say anything about explosives? Nope. Active mining. Active mining. Yeah. See, I guess this is some sort of detonator wire. Pretty soon we're going to turn left and head up maybe that hill. I'm not sure. There's this spot I saw on Google Earth that's changed a lot in the last year, and I thought I'd go check it out. I think it's just a gravel pit and a turnaround area for the logging trucks on the top of the hill. A hill that no doubt they're about to log. Looks like it's got maybe some kind of deep water in the gravel pit. We'll find out. It looks like it was like a permanent body of water looking back on Google Earth historical view, but I don't think it's going to have fish in it because it's just a gravel pit. This is all recently logged here, and they really opened up the view. One day when it was really clear, for a moment I thought maybe I was seeing Aberdeen. The cut bank as you go into Aberdeen, which by the way has fossils in it. I think I caught a glimpse of it over in that direction the other day. They really did open up quite a view here. The other spot we want to go is just on the other side of these clear cuts, but I don't think there's a road here. I think we have to go back down to the beginning where that split in the road was to actually find that. Ooh, here's a fungal find. I think this is a relative to shiitake, but it's one that's for advanced identification because there's so many poison brown mushrooms growing out of stumps. I will just leave this one alone. We'll see if iNaturalist can figure it out though. iNaturalist says this is Hyphiloma capnoides, so I don't know. I don't know what it is. Could be. Could be just very far gone and not in a clump like capnoides usually grows. Let's pick one, take a look at it closer. Oh, it's got the right color gills, I think, for capnoides. But I really don't know. Let's turn it over again. Yeah, could be capnoides. I don't think I'll try eating it. Here's some little hemlock trees trying to grow here, but they don't have a chance. This will never be a climax forest again because this is a tree farm, not a forest. Look at that stump right there. What a massive old stump. I believe that's a Douglas fir stump. There's fire been through here. They may have burned everything after they first logged it. It's got huckleberries growing on the top. Our red huckleberry, which is endemic to northern Oregon, western Washington, and maybe parts of British Columbia, I'm not sure. We have made it to the hilltop altar. An homage to the logging gods. Yeah, they just made this. I have no doubt that this is designed as a place for log trucks to turn around and maybe even be loaded too. But over here on Google Earth, it shows a little pond. Maybe they're required to make a pond. No, I don't think they are. But anyway, they usually have ponds at gravel pits, maybe just to help the gravel pit drain. So let's take a look at this new pond. Just on the other side of this moraine, not a glacial moraine. Here it comes. The most exciting thing of the day. Ooh, that is deep. Look at that. Well, maybe not that deep, but deeper than I expected, and a very unnatural color. That's the thing, these gravel pit ponds are often a super unnatural color. I don't know what goes into them to make them that color. It's kind of pretty though, isn't it? And it's surrounded by pillow basalt. More Selexia, of course. Hey Belly, you gonna go down there and have a drink? I don't know. Oh, did you cause a little landslide? Yeah, it's not that deep. It's a deep pit, but the water itself only looks like, well, I don't know. Looking in that direction, it could be 4 feet deep. Maybe I should throw some bass in there. It probably dries up completely in the summer though. I mean, we've had so much rain right now and it's still really not very full. They sure dug it out. I guess this is where they blasted all the gravel out and then hauled it away, or maybe just put it up there for the road, for the turnaround point. Anyway, we found it. I guess we'll sit here and have a cup of coffee. Be nice if you could tell the depth of something by throwing a rock in it. Pretty deep, I'd say. It's pretty deep. Yeah, I think it might be 5 feet deep right in the very middle. There's some blasting cable over there. And they got do not log signs all the way around. I guess that was just to mark the end of their pit. Cheers, everyone. No, Bella, I didn't bring any lunch up here. I'm not far enough in for lunch. Now I need to decide what to do next. Do I go up the other road and explore something I've never seen before that I've always wanted to see? Or do I go fishing? It's a hard choice to make. I really want to go fishing, but this time of day there might be people there. And do I really want to deal with fish this close to Christmas? Maybe I do. I don't have any other plans. My backpack is starting to fall apart, and it's in need of more than just repair. The fabric itself is wearing out. But I don't think I have to make a whole new backpack just yet. I think I can get away with just replacing this extension collar, and I have the fabric for it at home. So what I plan on doing is just replacing all the fabric from probably here up. Might even make it longer so I can have a bigger extension collar to hold more mushrooms. It'll be black if I do that, and guess I'll have to deal with some of these tie-outs here, but it wouldn't be too big of a job though, just to replace it from the shoulder pads up. The rest of the fabric is doing okay. It's made a stronger fabric everywhere on the outside, except for at the rain collar, or the extension collar, I mean. But this is just, it gets ripped, I think, when I crawl under stuff. And it's getting pretty worn out. So yeah, that's a project I need to do, but first I need a table. I still got mud all over this from the last fishing hike. But this black fabric is really durable stuff. It's just this purple fabric that's starting to fail. So yeah, I'll just replace this with some black fabric. I mean, I've sewed up this seam so many times here, but the problem is the fabric itself is kind of giving way. And you can only sew so many holes in a piece of fabric before it's just going to be weak. So that's a project, but I need a sewing table first. I'm so glad they never found any good mineral resources in the Olympics. If they had, we wouldn't have any Olympics anymore. They would have just blown the tops off of all of them like they did in Appalachia and turned all the mountain tops into mining pits. But luckily the only resource here is trees. So the only mining pits are to get the gravel to build the roads to get to the trees. What do you think, Bella? I've got my trusty old Kiwi thermos. I can't believe it's still holding a vacuum seal. I've dropped it so many times, but it must have been really good quality to begin with. It's holding up quite well. Well, that was kind of interesting. And I've made up my mind. I think we'll save the fishing for another day. We're going to go explore another area we haven't seen before. And if after that I still feel like hiking into my fishing spot, I could, but I don't think I will. Hopefully we'll get in about maybe 6 miles of walking today by going to 2 different places. These are both hikes that, at least the second one we're going to do, I haven't done before, even though I've always wanted to, because it's just too short of a hike to do if I'm driving all the way out here. All these silly rules I make for myself. If I'm going to drive this far, I have to hike X number of miles and get this amount of exercise to make up for burning that gas. I gotta quit making up so many silly rules. Anyway, today is the day. We are going to go explore the hill above Snag Lake. Maybe we can even get a view of our fishing spot. We found a fungi, not a candy cap, but something in that family. Only 2 of them growing on the ground. I just found a really cool looking beer can. Wow, I love it. I'd make a stove out of it, but none of the cool parts would show up in my stove, just the way I designed the stoves. What a gorgeous can though. Maybe I'll see if I can find myself a 6-pack of this stuff. That's just so beautiful. It's Black Raven Brewing Pilsner. I miss getting Tui beer in New Zealand, but we don't have Tui's here, or Tui beer. But New Zealand doesn't have ravens, and I don't know if they have raven beer. Let's grab some of this clavulina for the pot. It's not in perfect condition, but it's good enough. And it might help me with my cholesterol. Oh wait, no, that's in terrible condition. Nah, let's grab the other clavulina from farther down. Let's leave that alone. We are not alone, and Bella has gone off to investigate. Here we are. I'm going to put this in a bag, and I can smell the candy caps in this bag. Candy caps are funny. I don't think they always smell as strong as people say, but where they've been tends to smell strong. So I can smell them so strongly right now because of my bag. Okay, let's grab this. This isn't a lot. It might be just enough to go on my steak though. And I've also got all my frozen and canned chanterelles if I really need wild mushrooms. It'd just be kind of fun if in December I can find mushrooms to go on my Christmas dinner instead of going into my stockpile. And I guess I kind of have. Man, these are dirty though. This is going to take so much cleaning. But there we go. We found something today anyway, and we're not done. We're not done looking. Here we have some toothed jelly fungus. Not as big as the stuff I found the other day. And by the way, I did candy that other stuff. And it tastes pretty good. I candied it by marinating it in some watered down grape jelly in the fridge for a few days. And I rolled it in sugar, and then I dehydrated it on a low heat for a bit. And then I let it sit in my fridge for a while after dehydrating it, because things tend to dry out in my fridge. And it tastes quite nice. It's got a nice sweet taste with a very strong but pleasant fungal aftertaste. I'm liking it. I don't know that these are big enough to bother candying. No, I'll probably just fry these up. But if I ever find more that are as big as those other ones, I'm definitely going to candy them because they were quite nice. Yes, we have an abundant fruiting of turkey tails. Awesome. I know these are common, but I don't find them much because I live in a conifer forest. But this here is a cherry tree, not a conifer. Very cool. So I'm going to grab some of these for medicine. Very, very cool. Here's some clavulina that's in even better condition. I'll grab it. We went back to the car and grabbed lunch and said hello to our great Pyrenees friend who is always there. Why don't you come hiking with us? I know you're a breed that likes to wander. This one just stays home though. It's always there. And Bella is over the moon because she thought our hike was over, but it isn't. We're going on another hike. Yeah, Bella, we're going on another hike. She is so happy. With the exception of one time when I got confused, I think when I first came back from New Zealand and I hadn't been here in a while, every time I've gone that way. Not this way. It's about time we went this way. Come with us, buddy. Silly dog. So let's go see what we can see. I'm sure Bella was feeling a bit ripped off by such a short hike. So now that we didn't get in the car, she's happy. More hiking. As many alder trees as there are around here, I thought I would be finding some winter oyster mushrooms. So far, no, though. But I will keep looking. That's a maple tree there. But up ahead here with the whitish bark, that's an alder tree, and it's related to birch. And its actual bark is gray. All the white on an alder tree is lichen. And if you see alder trees in the city, you'll see that because lichens are really sensitive about air quality. And in the city, the alder trees don't get covered with white lichen. Instead, you see their gray bark. I think originally when they came up with the spotted owl as the species to use to try to save the forest, what they really wanted to use was a lichen, but they knew people weren't really going to get behind a lichen. They're not very cuddly. So instead, it was the spotted owl that was picked for that job. I've never seen a spotted owl. Apparently they were really tame. They've mixed with barred owls, so now we have sparred owls. Look at that. I think that's licorice fern on that maple tree, but I've never seen it get that big before. That is just massive. Wow. Who'd have thought I could pick witch's butter and chanterelles on the same hike? But here we have it, a nice fruiting of witch's butter. There's a chanterelle way up there. There's one here too, which is definitely too far gone. But let's check this one out. I think it's too far gone. Well, maybe not. I think at least the stem of it is okay. Let's check these here. Oh, they feel slimy. Let's see. Nah, these ones are definitely too far gone. But I think this one right here is okay. Yay! There's some clavulina up there too, but I'm not gonna go up there. Yay! Fresh chanterelle in December. Look at this. It's a Christmas tree farm. To people who don't live in the Pacific Northwest, it can be kind of magical to see a spot like this. Christmas trees everywhere. My late husband was British, and I took him hiking here in the US, and he had to go relieve himself, and then he came back and was laughing because he had relieved himself behind a Christmas tree. That was pretty interesting for him. There's a road up there, but I don't think that's where we're going. They're definitely getting ready to log up there though. That's why that road is there. We are almost to the spot that I marked for lunch. I'm hoping there's a view up here. There might not be. Looks like we've got a bench up here anyway. We'll find out in a minute if there's going to be a view. There's the view. Sure would be nice if there was a way to get down to that lake from this side, but man, it would be so steep and rough going. But at least we've got a nice view. I hope you enjoyed my first adventure into trying to do some ASMR video there with my lunch. Back to the car. Here's what we have for Christmas. One chanterelle stem, one whole chanterelle, and some clavulina. Thanks for watching. Happy holidays. See you next week. Bye-bye.